Hello my brothers and sisters, I am back again with another video. As you always know, we are here to talk about things that are happening in the world and the things that are concerning Africa, so this is something that I'm not going to make a lot of talking inside it. I'm just going to let you guys to watch the video and then share your ideas in the comment box, because these are the things that they will never ever tell us the truth about the colonization, how it all happened, what was going on in that time, and what are they hiding behind that, But this video, you are going to learn many things with open mind. You have to listen to the video very carefully. You have to listen very carefully, attentively, to make sure that you understand what the content of the video is all about. So my brothers and sisters, let's watch the video.
This is the St. Edward's crown. It's been placed on the heads of kings and queens as they are coronated for more than 300 years. But as monarchs from King Charles II to Queen Elizabeth II wore this crown, they were wearing the legacy of slavery. That crown was made in 1661, almost a century after the royal family started licensing armed British men to travel to West Africa to claim people as property, getting rich by selling them into slavery. The royal family helped create, fund and expand Britain's massive slave economy, enslaving 6 million Africans. The royals even fought against abolition, and they've been silent about it for 400 years. Britain colonised territory on 4 continents to steal their wealth, all in the name of the royal family. The British monarchy is super rich, and Britain itself became a wealthy country in large part because it exploited the people of the global south. And descendants of those who were enslaved or colonised are still paying the price.
Respect us, man, apologize now.
But there's more. Monarchy and slavery have more in common than just money.
The British royals, not just materially, also ideologically, they sit on a throne that is justified in the very same way that slavery is justified. So if you're born to be a king and born to be a subject, they also told us at one time you were born to be a master and you were born to be a slave.
The British royal family and the UK itself are built on slavery and colonial theft. And they've spent centuries trying to hide that history. But it's hidden in plain sight. You just have to know where to look.
This monarch will not exist, cannot exist, without what is done in the monarch's name, without the plunder from the wars that are waged for the monarch and for the throne. The monarch cannot exist in wealth, cannot wear the diamonds dripping literally in blood money, cannot ride in golden carriages. All of that cannot exist without what is done, the daily dirty work that's done to prop up the monarchs.
The British monarchy is so deeply entwined with the slave trade that their involvement can be traced right back to the very first recorded English slave ship. In the 16th century, a man named John Hawkins sailed to Sierra Leone, violently captured 300 Africans, forced them onto his ship, and then sailed to Spanish plantations in the Americas to sell these human beings. His voyage was so successful that his patron, Queen Elizabeth I, not only paid for more of his slave missions, but gave him ships and weapons. Why weapons? Well, it's estimated that for every person that armed British men enslaved on that trip to Sierra Leone, Hawkins' militia would have killed 3 more. But selling Africans into slavery on Spanish plantations wasn't enough for the slave traders and their royal patrons. They realised they could make a lot more money if only they could own their own plantations. So in 1607, 104 English men and boys arrived in a land that they named after the Virgin Queen, Queen Elizabeth I. They called it Virginia, and they named one of their first settlements Jamestown, after King James I. Then they set about violently displacing the indigenous people living on that land to create plantations that they would farm with enslaved Africans. And that was just the beginning of Britain's colonial expansion across the globe. You know that crown from the coronation, the centrepiece of today's monarchy? Well, in 1660, 1 year before the crown was made, the future King James II founded the Royal African Company, which kidnapped and enslaved at least 187,000 Africans between 1672 and 1731. Britain's slavery economy worked like this. British ships sailed from London, Liverpool and other ports to West Africa carrying cloth, guns, copper and glass. They traded those for enslaved Africans and transported them across the Atlantic. In North America and the Caribbean, they sold them to work on the plantations, on land colonised and named after the king and queen. And in return, the slave traders received the produce from the plantations: sugar, rum, tobacco, coffee, which they brought back to England. This was known as the triangular trade, and at each stage there was theft. The theft of land to create the plantations, the theft of human life from Africa, and the theft of goods from the Caribbean and Britain's North American colonies. That theft funded Britain's Industrial Revolution and made it one of the richest countries on earth.
As you all see, this is the first part of the video. Stay tuned for the second.